Hi everyone, welcome to Brand Boutique Elite, our speaker series. And be sure to subscribe to our Brand Boutique Elite podcast on iTunes or Spotify. Today I have a very special guest, Dr. Ann, who is also my aunt, who I love very dearly. Thank you for being on today.
Oh, Farhana, it's wonderful. Thanks for inviting me.
So Dr. Ann is the owner of WholeBody Solutions. She's a chiropractor nutritionist, and she was also one of my first jobs. I actually worked in her office in high school, and I think she is the reason why myself and my family, our family, eats healthy. We make sure to put the right vitamins and supplements in our body, and we're always very concerned about like our eating habits. And I think from a very young age, having Dr. Ann as an influence in our lives, contributed to our like eating healthy. She's also a marathoner, and so I, got my inspiration for running marathons from her, and knowing that I could do it, and with her support, she provided me with lots of health tips and support so that I could stay healthy and run my marathons. So tell us, I actually don't even know this because I was, quite young when you started your business. So kind of how did you start that? Like how did you have like the courage to start your business, and how did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
Well, I think the how I knew this is what I wanted to do is probably the simpler question. I always knew I wanted to help people. In fact, I was in a pre-med program at Bowdoin College, really thinking I wanted to deliver babies. And as part of my strategy to get into medical school, I was working at Beth Israel Hospital, and one of my jobs there was an orderly in the emergency room. And I brought a lot of women to labor and delivery between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. And that's when I decided that that lifestyle might not be consistent with raising my own family. So I met a chiropractor at that point in time. And I also had an injury when I was in college, and I went to a chiropractor for help. And I started to learn more about that profession and how we could influence people pretty dramatically in terms of maintaining health and not waiting till you had a sickness or disease to intervene. So that's how I switched gears. Actually, I pre-med at Bowdoin, and I had done a lot of prerequisites for medical school, and I ended up getting into chiropractic at that point. Um, I think from a really early age, probably my first memory of knowing that I wanted to help people was when I was about 4. My father asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said, I want you to quit smoking. So that was probably how I knew. Starting my own business was a different story. That came from when I graduated and I started interviewing with people, and I got to see different practices and different priorities that business owners had. And mine was always, whatever was best for the patient. And so when I realized that maybe I had a unique kind of viewpoint and how I wanted to operate, I decided to just open on my own. And the timing was right. I had one of my brothers getting out of business school who helped me with that management piece. So
Nice. That's nice. I didn't know that, but I knew that, this is what you did ever since I can remember.
yeah, yeah. So I was one of the younger graduating people from my college in chiropractic because I was pre-med even before I got into school. So I had all my prerequisites done in 2 years instead of 4. And I was able to, get into the program really young. So yeah, I feel like I've been doing it forever too. It's 31 years now.
Nice. So when it comes, you said something that you wanted to do what was best for the patient and provide them with support, right now and before they got sick. So right now, especially during like the pandemic, there's immunity problems, there's all of these things, and people are so scared about all of the things. And what are some of your suggestions to stay healthy and stay vibrant and also stay positive?
So these are the big challenges. I think that movement is key in terms of how it affects our chemistry in our brain and our mood. And so finding a way to continue to move has been key. People are used to going to the gyms. even outdoor activities have been compromised due to the issues of wearing a mask and all. So everybody has to find their niche that works for them in a way that they can continue to move. Number one, you want to keep moving the body. I think that reading or connecting some way spiritually that you can make a practice, whether it's through meditation or whether it's through connecting with someone who inspires you on a regular basis, or reading from some source that gives you inspiration. For me, I actually have found that getting on a SoulCycle bike has been helpful. You know, I got the indoor bike. Fitness has always been a part of helping me to move forward in a positive way. And I was really challenged at the beginning of this pandemic. And I find that connecting to music has been helpful. And SoulCycle allows me to move, connect to music, remind myself spiritually of what's important. And so there's, you know, the other ways, virtual fitness classes can be really helpful. You know, Victoria started that platform called Endorphins Fit. I've done that. I get to, you know, stay connected to family that way, meet some friends of my daughters, and really continue to be inspired by a community, even though, and this is key, everybody's talking about social distancing. And I think we should really think about it as physical distancing, but we have to stay socially connected any way we can.
Yeah. What is the link? So Victoria is Dr. Ann's daughter and my cousin, and she is, you know, she's been a SoulCycle instructor for years, and she is so energetic, and she has the greatest fitness classes. What is the link if people want to check that out?
It's Endorphins Fit.
So
Endorphins Fit. Yeah,
how do you spell it?
INDORR, one R, PHIN, like endorphins,
Yep.
fit, FIT. And it's, I believe it's .com.
Okay. So I'm
And
gonna.
you'll see, yeah, Victoria will pop up, and they have a number of different instructors, and it's a West Coast based platform right now, but the times will appear on whatever time zone you're in. And you can pop in for like $10. You can do different types of fitness. You can do yoga, you could do beginners. I signed on just to do something with Victoria the other night. I thought I was, you know, signing up for a half-hour class, and it was a high intensity interval training, 45-minute class, you know, Barry boot camp style. It was really fun, actually, and it's super challenging. You know, you just need a computer, a laptop or a computer. Your iPad won't work, I found out through my first class. And, you know, some space to move around. So the light weights if you want to, but there's a real variety, and the instructors are just so authentic, and you get to feel that you're in a community because you can pick who you want to work out to. The way that they have designed this software, it gives you that feel like you're in a classroom, even though you're in your home.
Yeah, I love that. You know, a lot of major cities now, like LA has definitely been shut down forever. New York, Philadelphia, Boston just closed gyms today,
Yeah,
which I'm
my
super sad
patient,
about.
my patients were telling me that yesterday. People who have gotten and, you know, back into routine. That's a hard thing because I know that your mood affects your immune system, and that movement affects your immune system, and stress affects your immune system. And so, you know, closing the gyms, wow, that's tough. You know, I know that lawmakers are trying to make the best decisions they can with the information they have at the time, but I really think that people need to stay connected to their communities and continue on a fitness regime that they can, however they can find it.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people watching the show are entrepreneurs, and I think that it's important, like, you know, when you were starting off your business, you were wearing multiple hats, and I know that every time I see you, you're so busy, and, you know, all of the other entrepreneurs listening, they're always so busy, and I wake up in the morning and I go to the gym and I don't think about anything. It's like I go there, I don't think, they tell me what to do, and I just listen. And before I can like even really wake up, it's like my body's moving, the loud music's like blaring, and I'm like happy and excited, and I'm like ready to start my day. So
Yeah.
definitely, you know, utilizing these online fitness classes is important, because I'm not, I'll sit there and I'll do some workout stuff, but I will be a lot slower, and I'll, you know, be like, okay, I'm going to stretch now. And I don't feel like it's as good of a workout as when somebody's like, okay, do this now.
You know, it is interesting. Plus, I think we get more of ourselves in a group setting. Some people do. One of my first patients who did a virtual visit with me when COVID started, she said, I'm working from home and I'm actually healthier than I've been in years because I'm doing yoga regularly because I'm not commuting. So it can work that way for some people where, the new routine is actually helping them. And you have to try different things and find what's right. It can be frustrating. I was finally in a groove in my house, and then my son came home from college and I was like, my living room's not my own anymore. So you just have to keep working on it till you find a way that you can get back into that groove. And I do think music is super important.
So, since you have been an entrepreneur for the last 31 years, what are some tips that you have kind of discovered or things that you would give to other people either starting their business? And also, we have a lot of people, like I have a lot of clients that I work with that are in the health space, whether it be kind of meditation or yoga. So, how in this time, in this world, what are some tips that you can give them from all your years of experience?
I think you have to be flexible in business, and I think you have to always look for ways to evolve. Um, Resilience is really key because things change. And whether your staff changes or the market changes or the delivery of your service changes, if you get stuck and you can't be resilient, then you'll not continue to succeed. And I think that's probably the second thing. Probably the first thing is to be passionate about your product. And you need to connect with something that you really love, the thing that makes you want to get out of bed on your worst day. That's where you want to put your energy and your focus.
Yeah, that's so true. I love working with people that are really passionate about what they do. So in order for me to do a good job of marketing them, they need to be really into it because those are the companies that will excel because you know that they're lit up, like they're passionate about what they do. They love helping their clients. And so like that component of it is super important. And then yeah, things change and employees change and the world changes and to be flexible, for during this period of time, I had a lot of people coming to me and they were like, we really want to work with you, but we don't feel comfortable doing one-on-one or paying those prices because we're nervous of what the world will look like. And so I have a digital course, which is kind of my low end product where people can watch these videos. It takes them step by step in creating their marketing plan. And people were like, that's great, but we really want to work with you. And I was like, okay, so how can I do this? How can I, serve people, like fulfill their requests, but also, I have my different levels of my products. And so I created a 10-week live strategy sessions with small groups so everyone has enough time to share, incorporated with this digital course. So I didn't have to do the training and teach them the parts. They could learn, do the homework, and then I would come and give them more strategy and kind of refine it for them. And so that was something that I wasn't even thinking of, but since people were asking me for things, I was like, okay, I could do
Yeah,
this.
that's evolution. No, that's like being able to be resilient, and it's key. We just applied for a business loan and to bring on some new equipment in the office. And it didn't occur to me when I started the process how difficult it is for a lender to support a small business during a pandemic. I mean, the whole process was so heightened and so much more intense that I had to continually remind myself of my purpose. And I read a book called The Obstacle is the Way, which I highly recommend, as a way to remind yourself that there are always going to be obstacles. And so, if you're going to stop at the first obstacle and, fold, you're not going to make it. So you have to look at an obstacle as an opportunity to shift and move in a direction that could be even better for you. So because of the fitness issues that people are having, we brought a technology in that helps engage muscles and build muscles, but in a safe environment and in a way that's effective and different than going to a gym. So, and then going through that process of reaching out to a bank and saying, look, I want to bring something new in and I need you to support me in this. and then to really stick with it, to get them everything they needed to feel comfortable supporting that change in a time of such uncertainty. So you stick with it, overcome obstacles, be passionate about what it is you want to accomplish, and connect with that on a regular basis.
Yeah, for sure. So let's tell everyone about this sculpt machine. So share a little bit more about what it is, and I will share my experience because I actually used it.
So what happened with me is I had a patient come in. I've been seeing her for probably 2 years. I didn't realize she was waking up twice a night to urinate. She didn't have children, wasn't somebody that ever came up with. So she came in one day. She said, "Dr. Ann, I had the greatest experience." She's in the beauty industry, so she went to one of her accounts. She got there early, and there was what we now refer to as the magic chair. So there was a chair and a salesperson who said, "Sit in this chair. I want you to experience this technology. It's electromagnetic stimulation of muscles that encourages both hypertrophy, so increased size, and hyperplasia, increased number of cells in whatever muscle you apply it to." So this technology of a chair applies electromagnetic energy to the pelvic floor, which can help with urinary incontinence. There is another level of intensity that can address sexual health issues, things like blood flow and circulation and lubrication and all that. So this patient sat in the chair, just one treatment, and she slept through the night without having to get up to go to the bathroom. So I was like, wow, incontinence is something that we hear about. It's like 50% of women over the age of 50. Men experience it too. It's not just a gender specific, but in my attempt to learn more about what helped her, I learned that the same technology can be applied to areas in the body to help build the muscle size and muscle content and strength. So we use that now. We have sculpt is area treatment, abs, glutes, calves, arms. I have such a wonderful family. Farhana can speak to the abdominal treatment, and my other niece came in and experienced the arm treatment. She's delighted. She's a former swimmer. She hasn't been able to get in the pool since COVID. And after 3 treatments, she can see her muscle development and definition and strength and all that exciting stuff. So
Yeah, so I did the sculpt abs, and this, a year ago, I ran 3 marathons in 1 year. And so my body was, super strong, super fit. And then, with COVID, I think many people have experienced not working out as hard, doing your home routines, but probably not going as hard as you would. And then I think in March when COVID first happened, I was kind of nervous just to even go places, even if it was for a run outside. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to stay in my house. I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to work and stay in my house. And I was very, very productive in getting work done, but I was not very productive in actually working out. And then, the gyms were closed for so long. And so then it was starting to get warm out. And so I started working out, but it wasn't the same as I was going to core power yoga 3 or 4 times a week. I was running probably 20 miles a week and going to boxing classes and fit classes. So I was probably working out every single day. And so my body was so strong. And then a year of not really doing that and, feeling oh, wow, I was so strong and I could do so much stuff and now I can't. And then I did 4 sessions of the sculpt and my abs felt stronger, I was going back to the gym, but I was, when I first started, I was like, oh, wow, I'm a little not as great as I was before. Then I did the sculpt and I was like, oh, okay, I'm a little bit more strong in my core. I can do these planks for longer. I can do these hollow body holds for longer. And so it kind of just, picked up my mood and made me feel more confident to get into these positions and go hard. And I'm kind of a person that will just do anything anyways. But I know that a lot of people don't really feel as motivated to go to the gym and do that stuff. And so I think doing sessions with this helps you grow that muscle and feel strong and feel confident. And even if it's now, getting some treatments in, then going out and doing a video workout, I feel more confident in that.
I agree. I'm super excited about that effect for people. So everybody that's been on the machine has been so excited about watching the change in their body that it inspires them to actually keep the fitness going. And that's what we're looking for, the lifestyle change. So, when I first was exposed to this, I was a little bit leery of it seemed like a passive thing, right? People lay on the table and the muscle actually is quite active. You can speak to that when the technology is such that if you attempt a voluntary muscle contraction, you might get 30 to 50% engagement of the muscle fibers. With this technology, you can get 100% engagement. And so people feel their muscle, they connect the brain to the muscle, they feel the intensity of full contraction. Then the experience is you're stronger. And so your confidence is built, and you definitely want to keep it going. One thing that I'll mention is that the side benefit of this technology is as the muscles increase in their strength and volume, they're going to look for energy sources. And one of the key energy sources for the muscle is free fatty acids. So you will break down fat cells. We see 4 centimeter reduction in waist circumference with the abdominal technology, and you see 16% reduction in fat. It's kind of wild too that within a short period of time, people are telling me that they see a difference. I just had a woman who is a patient of ours had me as a guest on her podcast. She's a psychic healer and astrologer. And she came in yesterday for her fourth treatment. She's like, I'm back in clothes like that I haven't worn in a while, the tighter fitting athletic wear. I can see my abs. Anyway, it's exciting. I never knew when I brought it in. I was more excited for the incontinence piece, but I can see the sculpting piece, how it's really helping people to change their lifestyle. So yeah, we're thrilled.
Nice. So I love that you're always bringing like new technology and new like scientific things to the office. Are there any other like cool things that you're working on that you want to share with us?
I think the biggest thing that we've evolved and continue to evolve, and the thing that I'm excited about, is our herbal medicine. I mean, we just have the best company for looking at the needs and making sure that we have quality control. So safe and effective products. That's other thing that I'm most excited about. That's ongoing because we respond to what people need in the health system. So now a lot of people are asking about immune, both as prevention, right? How do we prepare the body? So if we have an eventual exposure, we're well equipped to respond in the best way. Or if I've been exposed and I know I've been exposed, what can I do right out of the gate to minimize my risk? So we're doing a lot in that front, and that's most exciting to us.
So you talk about quality products. I know people that are like, oh yeah, I take, a whole slew of vitamins and I go to, the pharmacy and I, get whatever they have there. Share with us a little bit about how you can really customize what you're taking because of your body's needs. And, we all think we might need things, but we may not. So tell us a little bit about that.
So the way that we customize is when we're able to see people in the office and we do a full history and we determine not everybody has just one need. So your endocrine system might need a little support at the thyroid level, but you might also need a little gut support for digestion. Our liquid herbals are things that can be customized. We can blend up to 4 to 5 therapies in one so that we can get exactly what that individual needs. So that's part of how we customize and specialize. The company itself, when they get the herbs, the bulk herb, they're testing to make sure they have the right part of the plant, they have the correct species. There's a lot of quality control issues in natural medicine. And so it's important to know for us where we're getting these products, and the fact that the company that's supplying them to us has been very careful, not only in their sourcing, but in their preparation. So when you prepare an herb, you apply sometimes heat, although primarily with the company we use, they're using cold percolation, which is a unique process. It'll keep enzymes intact. And when you heat things, you can change chemistry. So we like cold percolation for keeping enzymes and keeping the most effective parts of the plant active. We have to look at, however, what the nature is of the therapeutic agent. So, for instance, one of the popular herbs that most people have heard about at one point or another is echinacea. What they don't hear about is that the species makes a difference, and also that the active compounds in the plant are fat soluble. So they have to be alcohol extracted or you won't get them. So, and it's the root of the plant that actually gives you the compounds. So if you see a study that says echinacea is ineffective, you have to look, did they use the flowering top? What species did they use? Did they extract in water? And we know that we're getting all of that handled through Medior as a company. They're very, very careful. They test their liquid herbs 4 times. So they make sure the supply is what it says in terms of species and part. And then they make sure along the processing that they haven't introduced any impurities, and also that the marker compounds are at a measurable effective level. So that's how we do it. You know, that what we choose in terms of the companies that we know are going to give us quality and safety, and then how we manage to determine what's going to suit you best at any given point in your health challenge.
So I, come in for my adjustments, ever so often, and people ask me like, "Oh, is something wrong with you? Like, are you hurt?" And I'm like, "No, I just, I just want to be healthy and I just want to feel good and, just maintain all of that." So what do you tell to people that are like, "Oh no, I just need to go and get adjusted when something's wrong with me?"
Yeah. So this is a great thing to think about. Your spine houses your nervous system. So every organ system and tissue gets a nerve that exits from the spinal column to whether it's your stomach or your gallbladder or your liver or your colon, everything gets a nerve supply. Your spine actually can affect that nerve supply. And physical, chemical, emotional stress all have the potential to interfere with nerve patterns. And you really don't know if you're at optimal potential or not unless you're getting checked regularly. So there's different theories. So you can wait until you have a sickness or a disease, or a pathology or a diagnosis or a pain. That is one approach. Or you could say, I want to feel my best when I know what that's like. I can tell when I'm not there. And for me, I want to be top level every day I can, right? So I want to get the most out of my body, my mind, my spirit. I want to show up for my patients, for my kids, for my family. So if I have something even a little bit out of place, I know it. I'm not on top of my game. Some people will come regularly. I have patients that come to see me once a week, and they have for 25 years or so. Other people come once a month or change of season. I tell people that your physical, chemical, and emotional stress affect your frequency of care. And so if you got a lot of stress, then you need to be seen more often. And if your stress is a minimum, you need to be seen less often. And you will get to the point where you know your body and you know when you're at your best and you know when something's a little bit not right. And so that's how we do it. Physical, chemical. When I talk about chemical stress, by the way, that could be like not getting enough of the right things. Protein is really key. Essential fats are key. Minerals are key. And especially in this time of concern about a healthy immune system, you would want the minerals, zinc to be adequate, and you want the vitamin D to be adequate. So it's preventative in terms of taking an action before you actually have a diagnosis or a disease or a pathology.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I always want to feel my best. Like, I think that it's important. A lot of people are just so consumed with work and they get so stressed out and they don't consider taking care of their body. But it's like if we don't take care of our bodies, we're not going to be able to take care of our families or, do our work and, feel good. It when you're healthy and you wake up and you're like, okay, like, let's go. Let's start this day. I'm excited. I'm happy. Like, it makes such a difference.
Yep. And I think that is a challenge for a lot of, I want to say, like working women and for people who are busy and entrepreneurs to realize that, you do need to put yourself first. One of the things I love about Sculpt is people are actually making the time for it. People who won't make the time necessarily prior to this technology for themselves. You're in a room, you're focusing on your health, you're setting a priority, you're making an agreement with yourself and you're following through. It's all really key.
Yes. And of course, everyone does want more sculpted muscles and abs.
Why not? Don't forget the glutes. Those are really popular too.
Yes. So, is there any last things you would like to share with our audience?
I think I would like to thank people for listening. And I would like to say that, during the holiday season, remember the people you love, connecting with your community and your family and your friends, people who make you feel better after you've seen them. Those are the ones you want to surround yourself with on a regular basis. Take time for yourself and spread the joy that's meant for this season, and reach out if we can assist you in any way. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, so if anybody is in Massachusetts, WholeBody Solutions is based in Quincy. So you can go there for your chiropractic care, your nutrition, sculpt, and all of those different services. So I have one fun question. If you could, that I ask all of my guests, if you could be a superhero, what would your 2 superpowers be?
Oh, sometimes I think I want to be invisible, but that's, probably if I think long enough, that's not it. Superpower. I'd like to be in more than one place at the same time. Is that a superpower? I
Yeah.
just want to go different places with ease, like twinkle my nose and be with my daughter in Seattle and my brother in Florida. Um, and if I could, like that multiplicity thing, if I could duplicate myself and be in a couple of different places at once, that would be it.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that one. And
Yeah.
yeah, no one's ever said that. I asked that to everyone. No one said that one.
I always like to be different.
Well, thank you so much for being on. I love you very much.
I love you too, honey. You're doing awesome. You'll have to teach me how to look this good all the time.
You're beautiful. So thank you everyone for listening in. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast Brand Boutique Elite on Apple and on Spotify.